Good morning, this is Ron Brown. It is Friday, the 5th of August. This video is a follow-up to the webinar I did yesterday. Unfortunately, the audio, my microphone's switched. It went from my headset microphone to my on-camera microphone, so the sound quality is not all that great on yesterday's video, but the content's fine and the sound is okay. But I wanted to take some of these techniques that I showed yesterday and do them while the market's open. I said several times, or a couple of times anyway, during the webinar that this is a demonstration or a webinar that should be done during market hours. So I'm following up today with some live examples. This is my standard risk disclaimer. Any stock, index, or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. And this is a slide that I put in for yesterday's presentation. I want to talk about this briefly. These are just a few of the strengths of HGS Investor software. We can use it for top-down analysis, for end-of-day and intraday, if you're running Thinkorswim in the background, or for overseas customers, there is another data source. We can make our own user groups, so tailor the user groups to what we want to see. Gil does this all the time. He's got his own groups that he follows. That way he doesn't have to follow too many stocks. So he's using this feature very well. We can do both fundamental and technical analysis. We can do volume price analysis, which is a really key component of the software. We have smart groups that are pre-configured, and user smart groups, groups that I've created. And users can create their own. They don't have to use mine. We have data from Zacks and Bar Chart, which uses GAAP earnings or generally accepted accounting principle earnings rather than one-time earnings and so on. This is a legitimate way to do it. Intraday data from Thinkorswim or financial modeling. This is the other service. And then we have a customizable toolbox for various investing styles. I do it my way. Other people do it their way, and Gil does it his own way too. I'm suggesting, as I show in the other video, that you install my basic files also just for some of the scans that I have that are not contained in Gil's files. I'm going to start out in Thinkorswim here just because the employment numbers came out hot, and that raises the fear of a large increase in interest rates by the Fed. So what happened, you can see right here, this is my 78-minute chart that I discussed in the webinar, because 5 bars make up one day when you break the day down into 78 minutes. And then, of course, 5 days equals a week. And if you use monthly charts, there's about 4.5 weeks, generally somewhere around there in a month. So this is just a good way to keep it consistent. So you can see what happened today. There was a big gap down, but it's rallying back, and we'll see how it ends the day. In my early morning commentary, I showed that the market, the slope of the market is really pretty steep. Let's just go to a 6-month daily chart here. And you can see that this slope is very steep. I'm just going to draw a fan on here. And I had to pause the video to take a phone call and look how this market has come back. It's only down, the comp is only down 15 now. It had gapped down, I don't know, 150 points or so. So there's a lot of strength, a lot of resiliency in this market, and it's making the shorts out there, the options trader that have put out spread, or not spread, naked calls are getting very nervous, because this market seems to have taken on a very strong directional bias to the upside. Okay, let's go back here. I'm going to change charts here. I'm going to go up to Gil's charts, and I've been using these undercut and rally charts a lot because they're really effective, and it's a really good way to screen. Now, with the market updating, or it's updated in the background, I'm going to go in here. First of all, I'll start with the industry groups, and I'll rebuild them because this will tell us where the strength is in this market. Even though the market gapped down, it is coming back strongly, as you saw. Of course, the day isn't over yet. It's early. As I mentioned yesterday in the video, I'm using a older computer for this because I like the screen resolution for doing videos. It's a little bit slower, but it's certainly not bad. And I'm going to use my files. I suggested in the video yesterday you download my basic files also. And for this purpose, I'm going to go into number 3, which is advancers divided by decliners. Sort on the raw combo. Open this up. And let's see where the strength is today. To go to the top, you can go clear over here to the left. Click on that. Oil, gas, and gas services, 66 and 4. These have been down the past few days, so we're getting a bounce. Integrated oils back. Exploration and production. I'm going to look on another computer here and see what the oil's doing. It's up $1.17 today. It's been down several days, so we're getting a bounce back in these groups now. But see how easy it is to update these and get a really strong feel for the market. Life insurance index. If you look down this list right here, it tells you the number of advancers divided by the decliners. 16.5 to 1, 15, 12.67. Go all the way down here. These are all 3 to 1 or above. So even after the early morning sell-off, buyers are just stepping right back in here and supporting this market. Now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to go to my user files, and I'm going to select one of these groups. I'm going to select the major market indexes and sectors. I'm going to rebuild the indexes in the group, and once again it's going in and pulling out up-to-date data, so I can, when this finishes, I'll be able to look at these indexes and not only the advancers versus decliners, I can see where the strength and weakness is just by clicking through to this warehouse view. Like I said, this is an older computer, but it still doesn't take that long. Okay, so let's click through here. Energy index, this is just the opposite of yesterday in the video. 252 up, 39 down for 6.5 to 1. Transports are up. This is the major. This tells you how many of the indexes within this folder are up and how many are down. Mid caps, Russell 2000. So we're getting some strength in these small and mid caps. Where's the weakness? Utilities. The SOX is weak today. It was very strong yesterday. It's 2 to 1 negative. Now I'm going to go to the energy sector. I'm going to right mouse click, change to the index group, and I'm going to go up into Gil's files under the undercut and rally scans. I'm going to go to other intraday scans. I'm going to click on most active intraday. This shows me out of this group that these stocks are the most active in the energy sector. And here is Sunrun, which is a renewable. It is up. Let me tighten this up just a little bit here. You can see it's in the renewables. It's up 9.95% today. It's coming off of contraction. Here's expansion. Here's contraction. Expanding again. Here was accumulation with a VPA flag. two confirming VPA flags here. It formed what looks like a flag, and here it goes again. The group is up. Volume point of control turned positive back here. You can see how well this undercut works. It doesn't work all the time, but it really gives a nice visual. Let's just look at one more stock here. This one's up 21%. Okay, another good example. When did this cross over? I'll move this down. You can see that the 3 crossed the 6 7 days ago. 0's the crossover day. The volume point of control 9 days ago. So here's the crossover. Well, here's one crossover. Then it pulled back slightly below it, but there was an accumulation day, no supply. Here's another crossover day. The volume point of control crossed clear back here. This stock has been moving up nicely. The 3, here's the 6, here's the 3. As the market goes up, the histogram spread widens on the 3 and 6, and also on the 6 versus the 18. Yeah, some of these stocks are gone now, but if you do the screens or the scans on the crossovers, you have a 2-day window on these stocks. Now let's do this here and go to the top. You can see that all of these are negative to the downside here. This happened 6 days ago on both of them, but it's up 3.94% today. Let's just bring up that chart, and you can see this is an accumulation day. Low volume test, accumulation day. Trend is still down, but there's buyers coming in. Let's look at another one here. This one just crossed down 2 days ago. Here's your crossover to the downside. Now we're seeing some accumulation. Are earnings out on this? No earnings due date here. I'd have to go into Thinkorswim. Okay, here's another one that crossed down 3 days ago. And what are we seeing? We're seeing buyers come into it today. This is where you can start looking for stocks. When the group is moving up, or the sector in this case, you can come in and see where the buyers are stepping in to these stocks. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on this. You can see I'm in the energy because I have resorted this and so on. I can't go directly back. So what I have to do is, if I want that list again, I just need to go down to my user smart groups and go to my major market index and sectors. But see, this is blue, so that means the filter is on. And if you look up here, you can see that the most active filter is on, and I have to release that. I usually just click on my shift key and click on that, and it's released, and then you can see that these appeared in here. Now let's take this same list, the energy stocks, and I'm going to go to the quick pick. This is most active up. These are high relative volume. These are leaders up on volume. To be a leader, the fan has to be up. And these are leaders down on volume within the energy sector. A leader, in my definition in the filter, is that if a fan's up, it's a leader. These are potential shorts if they're down with a fan up. That's why this is in here. These are the actual leaders. Now let me sort on this. And this doesn't look like a leader, does it? But the fan will be intact until that 18 goes down through the 50. That's why it's showing up. But you can see after a couple of hard days of selling, buyers are stepping in. Let's look at the next one. Now this is a lot clearer. You can see the fan's in place. It pulled back, gap down. Buyers stepped in yesterday for part of the day, and now it's starting to move up again. Let's look at one more. You can see the fan is clearly in place. 2-day pullback, and buyers are stepping in. Now this is a lot of top-down prospecting. It takes time to do this. I'm just showing you that you can do this. Let's go in a different direction here. What I want to do is I'm going to go into the smart groups. I'm going to select Rebuild User Smart Groups. Even on this slow computer, it doesn't take much time, especially when there are just a few smart groups. I don't have many in these installations. Okay, I want to get back to that designer. And let's go under Morales and Brown. The market breadth, I'm going to just take a very quick look at the market breadth on some of the major markets. These are all the stocks. Let me take that filter off again. Shift click. All the stocks that are in the major indexes combined. What are there? There are 2632, 1448 are down, 1115. 1448 are up, 1115 are down. So you can see that this market has recovered nicely. Let's go down to stocks assigned to industry groups. There are 2184 up and 1619 down. So it's running positive. That early morning reaction from the market can be expected. It shakes a lot of people out, runs a lot of stops, and then the buyers step in and scoop up the bargains. Now what I want to show you here is these are stocks and groups that are moving up $5 and up, trading at least 500,000 shares. And I'm going to click through to warehouse view, but I have to go, I'm going to go up to Gil's views here. And right here in front of me. It's down here under the main views, top-down scorecard views. No, I'm sorry. It's under warehouse views. It's just right here. Number 2. So these stocks are all up, as you can see, for the day. And let's do a sort here. I want to get over here to the industries. And I can see that there are a lot of internet-based service stocks, biotechs, and so on. Now let's take this same group of stocks, go back to the quick pick, other intraday scans. These are the most active up out of 154 of these pass the filter. So this is where the action is. Look at this. Must be earnings day. Yesterday was earnings, must have been after the market, and you can see that it's moving up sharply. It's in the healthcare systems, and there's 120 stocks in this group. I'd have to go in and get the news on this. To get the news, hit alternate N, and I have bar chart selected, so it takes me directly to bar chart. I click on news and headlines. They beat estimates. I use bar chart because it's a data provider along with Zacks for HGS Investor, and I just like their format and so on. So big move up here and a crossover day. Let's bring this up. Same thing. Earnings reported, strong earnings. That one's kind of compressed. Another earnings report. You can see why these are up today, because they all reported earnings and they must be better. Now this is a long list. Well, it's the most active list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these symbols to the clipboard, and let's take them over and put them in Thinkorswim. I'm going to go into my watch list. I'm going to edit the watch list. I'm going to import these. I'm going to paste these symbols and replace the current symbols. And then it calculates this. These stocks are trading at their high point of the day. Now, I'm getting in here after, over an hour after the market opened. This is something that really should be done in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and that gives you an opportunity to get on some of these stocks. This is a 78-minute chart. What I'm going to do is click on this wheel up here, go to equities, and show extended hours trading, and you can see that the earnings came out late yesterday, and then here's extended hours, and it shot up at the open today from $34.95. It's clear up to up to $40 now. Okay, once again, to change that, click on the wheel, go to equities. Down here under time, you can get rid of that. So here's where it opened today. The others were pre-market. And here is the stock that's moving up. There's always opportunities in the market, and HGS can certainly help you find them just by doing what I did. Let's just go to the top here. I'm not familiar with these stocks. Here's the opening. Look where it is now. It's $10 higher. If I go back to this previous page, the earnings are right down here. It was after market. Yesterday was a shakeout. Here's where it opened today, and started moving up. Big move up. You have to be quick on some of these, or on all of them actually, on the earnings days especially, because they'll move quickly, and you can get hurt very quickly too. But a lot of times these stocks really move up. Let's look at X-ray here. Now what's the context of this chart? It's in a downtrend. 200, 150, the 18, but the 3 has crossed the 6. Earnings are yet to come out. Always make sure you know what the earnings are doing. There may be news on this. There's live news here. Or once again, you can work out of the HGSI chart. Let me find this X-ray right here. And you can choose your news source in HGSI. More info from the web. You can see I'm defaulting to bar chart. And I don't know if they'll have that news or not. Let's just take a quick. Okay. I didn't see that news. Anyway, there's a couple of news sources, and you can see how much information I'm pulling out of HGSI. Okay, let's take this same group of 100 stocks, and I'm going to go up here into Gil's files, undercut and rally. Let's see if any of them 3 below the 6 yesterday. No. Let's see the ones, if any, crossed over yesterday. No. So nothing there. On this one, the 3 crossed the 6 with no fan up. There's 3 of them here. So there's Udemy. Udemy's that educational site. I've taken a lot of courses off there. They're inexpensive and they're worthwhile. And what do we have here? You can see there's no fan in place. That's why it passed this screen. But the crossover happened right here. Follow through yesterday with an effort to rise, and it's moving up again today. Let's go back. And I want to bring up Thinkorswim today. I'm just going to sort on symbols. See if I can find that. Here it is right here. So here it is real time. And let's look at the 78-minute chart. This is today. You can see how this moved up throughout the day yesterday. Kind of a gap open from the prior day. And then every time it tried to sell off, buyers stepped in. Here's the early morning gap down. And buyers are taking it higher. Okay, let's go back and look at some other things here. On a day like today, this low volume test, I mentioned this yesterday in the video, intraday up 1% from the low. There were a lot of gaps down today. I need to go down here. And I'm looking for stocks that are up 1% from the low. Now notice all these negative numbers here, but then look over here at the column, the percent range. You can locate these stocks that gap down and are now showing strength. Let's take a look at Standard Lithium here. It's still down $1.19, but it's at 88% of its range, and volume is above average. Let's take a look. Good example. What do we have? A low volume test. It opened here, traded down in the weak market, and now buyers are stepping up. These are two low volume tests in a row. What about earnings? The earnings are out. You can see nothing too impressive. Precious metal and mining. But the chart is nice. Here's your crossover. 3 has stayed above the 6 all the way. Buyers have come in. You can see the buyers came in yesterday after it was taken down to the low, and the same thing is happening today. Let's look at another chart here. This one here is 100% and still down, LTRX. Now, if I would have come in here 30 or 40 minutes ago when the market was really down, these stocks would just start appearing because they would be coming off 1% above their lows. Now, this is a good example here. Okay, here's your crossover. The 3 stayed above the 6. Low volume test, confirmation of that test yesterday. Here is where it opened, traded down, and then it came off of that. All it had to do was get 1% above the low. So what do we have? We have a flag setting up here. Application software earnings are coming out the 25th. I kind of like the looks of this stock. It's an inexpensive stock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet. I'm going to copy this, Control C, go back over here, Control V. I'm going to put the symbol in. What is the symbol here? It's LTRX. Okay, I want this yesterday's high. I'm going to use this tool right here. I'm going to take yesterday's high and yesterday's low. That would be my stop point. How much would I be risking? Oh, I'm doing this wrong. I have to start at the low and take it to the high. Well, that's 9.3% approximately. That's kind of a big risk, but I'm not going to take the trade until it takes out that high. So what is the high on this day? Let me get rid of this. I forgot to close my tool. Okay, if I click on here, the high yesterday, 767. And the low was 701. And if I want to risk, let's see, what is that? 9.36% risk, 50,000 capital. It says I can buy 347 shares. If I buy 300, you can see that I'm risking $216. So if it hits 769, let's go in and take a look at it in Thinkorswim. Here is the 78-minute chart. You can see the price rejection at the low. Buyers came right back into it. Here's the 767 over here. I want 769, so I'm going to buy. And I am going to edit this. I'm going to do a stop limit, but change this to a stop. And make this, what did I say, 769. I had it there. It's a day order, 300 shares. So it's a buy stop. And if it gets filled, then I'll come in and I'll put that that stop in. I could do them both at the same time, but I just want to get this sent. And you can see the buy stop is up there. One thing I forgot to check, and I better do that, is what kind of volume are we trading. See, it doesn't trade much volume. That's a problem. It can be a problem, but it also could be a benefit if you get in a stock and that stock has momentum because there are so few shares out there that it can run up quickly like it did here. Let's go back to, and I want to look at the, I'm going to go to a different view. See, the volume's only 93,380. I think I'll pass on this one. I like the chart, but, you know, when I take everything into consideration, so I'll just cancel that order. It just doesn't trade enough. But I have to admit, this is a really beautiful chart. Now, at the end of the webinar yesterday, or at some time in the webinar, I captured a list of stocks that were up on the 4th yesterday. This process that I just went through to capture those 100 stocks, I want to see how these stocks are doing today. I'm going to click up here. I just happen to have a slice that shows the percentage up and down, and you can see that 54 of them are up and 46 of them are down. So some of them are following through today and others are not. Let me get back here. I want to go to the industry. A lot of biotech, specialty pharma, and so on. But let's take this same list. And I'm going to go back up here to Gil's files. Other intraday scans. These are the most active up today. So out of the 100 yesterday, you can see that several of these are following through. They would have been excellent trades. Let's just flip through these. So this is where it appeared yesterday in that scan that I just did. Here's where it appeared. Here's where it appeared. Right here. Right here. Effort to rise on the last two. I'm just going to flip through these. I'm going to make this dark blue, and then I can just use my keyboard up and down, or down arrow key. This one's still up, but it's pulling back. But you can see that many of these, well, this is not going straight down for some reason. Let me transfer these to the charts. I want to try that again. See, this time it should hold the sort. This time it's working. And you can see that many of these stocks that were up yesterday are continuing today. Just look at the second candle in on all these as I flip through them, and that's where they were yesterday. What I'm pointing out here is once momentum starts on some stocks, they continue to go up. They didn't all go up, obviously, but these are the most active, and they're following through. Okay, I don't want this video to get too long, so I'll show you one more. Let's do the instant watch lists. I'll rebuild the user smart groups. If there's enough interest in the fall, I'll do another webinar series because things have changed so much. I've added so much, and I've really learned how to get a lot more out of this program. And you can see that these results are pretty good, what I've been showing you. So let's go to the instant watch list, bullish. And I'm going to take a look at these. I'm going to run them over to Thinkorswim in a minute, but first, I want to sort on raw combo. Hudson Tech, looks like their earnings were good. This is a stock I was in back here, made some money on it and got stopped out, and you can see that where I should have gotten back here when the accumulation and support. If I put a crosshair on here, you can see there was support in this area, accumulation, and then it started moving up. It's taken time, but now it's going. Let's go into Thinkorswim and take a look at these. Once again, I'm just interested in the current watch list. So I edit the watch list, I import, I paste, I'm replacing, and we'll have 16. Well, I did something wrong there. Let's do that again. Edit the one. Okay, import, paste symbols. You know what? I think I didn't. Gonna go back, try this again. Copy symbols to clipboard. Maybe I didn't get that done. I'm going to try it one more time because I edit watch list, import, paste, replace, save. There we go. There's the 16 stocks right there. I didn't get them copied to my clipboard. So let's go down. Let's find that Hudson. You can see the earnings came out actually 2 days ago. They were good at 84 cents. Estimated 40 came in at 84, and this stock hasn't done any more than this. That is surprising. This is just one of those stocks that can't really seem to get out of its own way, but I'm certainly going to watch it and may trade it again. This SIGA is a monkeypox stock. It's been all over the place. You can really get hurt on these if you chase and you get hammered like this, but then after it's settled down, you can see the buyers came in this day and supported it. Indecision on the spinning top. Here, the doji and more bullish. Gap down today, but now it's out to a new high, but chasing it at this point is really dangerous. The point is, I was just able to get a list of stocks that are going up. An instant watch list is what I call them, because it pulls out 16 stocks, and you can quickly look at these stocks and see if any of them catch your eye. These are stocks on the move intraday. Just a quick list of movers. And if I go back here, you can see that there are all kinds of stocks here. If you only want stocks that pull back near the 50, here's one right here. You can see it pull back near the 50, but it's trying to move up. I don't have the 50 on here right now. Let's go back up to chart number 2. It's got the intraday data, and you can see here's the 200, the 100, and it's right at the 50 right now. It's under accumulation. There is a low volume test and a confirmation of that test. You can see how helpful these VPA flags are. Okay, I'm going to end this. This is just a little follow-up to the video I did yesterday. I had some audio problems, but it's usable, and I want to reinforce some of the things I talked about yesterday. Thanks for listening.